Oh, thank you, sir.
Good morning to you, sir, first, on behalf of the participants. So, we are really thankful for giving your time. So, now we have with us Dr. V.K. Jayaraghavendra Rao, an eminent personality in the domain of agriculture extension, a well known scientist in ICR system, a friend of all, a man with having a lot of empathy, sympathy, and all kinds of human values, and is a man known in the arena of conducting niche areas, research in niche areas, when during his stint at NARM, National Academy of Agriculture Research Management. And in fact, he is the recipient of ICR Senior Research Fellowship of in the area of agriculture extension in recognition to his contribution made to the discipline. He has been awarded the Indian Society of Extension Award and was the counselor of the Indian Society of Extension Education of New Delhi. Of course, he had more than 3 decades of experience, worked starting from his career where he is working now, Indian Institute of Horticulture Research from 1991 to 2000, and from 2002 last year up to last year he worked NARM, and he joined in Indian Institute of Horticulture Research. So way back, I think recently he joined, and he is holding the position of principal scientist, and he worked earlier at Vijaya Bank, Vishwesvaraya Gramina Bank, and as an agriculture officer at Mairada Pido, Gulbarga, and during his stint at NARM, he delivered many lectures, of course, contributed for elevation of the a premier program in the NARM, that is postgraduate diploma in agri business management, by offering subjects like brand management, participatory rural appraisal, mobile based multimedia authorizing using the iSpring free flash director, rural marketing, agri input and output marketing, digital rural communication, knowledge management, and the one of the current area on which he is working is developing Arka Vyapar mobile app for direct marketing. Sir, we appreciate for your initiative in this direction, which is what exactly looking at our clientele group are looking at this kind of platforms for direct marketing by eliminating the middlemen in order to have the direct linkage with the uh, consumers. So this is a brief biodata of Dr. V.K. Jayaraghavendra Rao garu. Sir, we are really blessed and fortunate to have you with us. Well known, he is the, rather I can say, is an icon in the discipline of agriculture extension. And sir, we have the participants of around 30 representing most of the states of South India, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and representing the fisheries, animal husbandry, agriculture, horticulture, and water resource departments. Of course, we have veterinary, of course, veterinary animal husbandry department also. So this is the profile of most of the participants are middle level extension officials, sir. And we
Okay.
have one participant, Yadavji from Government of India also. So this is the profile. Now I request Dr. V.K. Jayavendra Garu, please deal the session on PERT and CPM. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Dr. Jagan. It was so nice. Dr. Jagan was also, we used to teach together in Samiti, and I still remember those days. It was like a batting. So Jagan was batting on the next room, and I was taking class on this side of the room. So we almost, we have done this sort of job for almost 20 years. So I visited Jagan also, and we made his center as an FET center in one of the foundation courses.
KVK.
Yeah, KVK. I had visited him. Okay, friends, now very quickly, I will not take much time because my time is short. Although we had some login problems, we have set it right. See, now two things are there. See, now let us say it is not just in agriculture. Suppose my veterinary officer, I can give any example and drive home the concept of this PERT and CPM. What is a PERT? Means a program evaluation review technique. CPM is a critical path method. See, now when we were in 8th standard, I think Jagan remembers, our maths teacher used to say, if two men can do a work in one day, how many, then 10 laborers can do the work in how many days? So it was nothing but ratio and proportion, and we used to calculate, and then we would say in half a day they will do the work. So, or if we say that 10 men can do the work in 10 days, so how much, suppose if we want to do that much of work in one day, how many people are required? So all these things. So now you may have a lot of money, but there are two variables in extension which you cannot purchase or buy. See, one is the temporal variation, other one is the spatial variation. So we said extension is a temporal science, it is a spatial science. Okay, it is a decision making science, and therefore what works in Chittoor may not work in Hyderabad. So the concepts are totally different, and then it is a situation based science. We say like management is a decision making science, extension is a situation based science. So based on the situation you have to apply all these management principles and apply this PERT and CPM. So now let us take this artificial insemination program or a vaccination program for animals. So now my veterinary officers are given the job. You have to conduct 10,000 vaccinations. So he was given a time frame of let us say 3 months. And then suddenly the animal husbandry minister calls Dr. Jagan and says, sir, you kindly tell these veterinary officers, sir, they have to conduct these many AIs and vaccinations within 1 month. So 3 months period has become 1 month. So that is called as crashing. So now for 3 months the veterinary officer had planned. He had planned about 200 farmers, 300 villages, whatever. So now when the time is reduced, you require more resources. Yes or no? I think you should say yes. I think 1 or 2 can even keep saying yes or no. So we will discuss all these issues.
Yeah, friends, please.
See, at least you have to react. You have to react and say, see, suppose if I had to conduct 1,000 vaccinations earlier in 3 months, now the animal husbandry minister wants me to do it in 1 month. So now same amount of job you have to do in a lesser time. So you require more resources, not because you don't have time. See, time is a resource you cannot purchase. Whereas money you can accumulate, you can do all those things. So therefore, we have to bring in more officers, we have to bring in more Gopal Mitras, we have to bring in more of the para-veterinary professionals, and we'll have to conduct the vaccination program for animals, whether it is swine flu, chicken pox, whatever. So now very quickly we'll drive home this point. All these are my address and other things they have already told you. See, now in any project management, people can give you money. See, India is not dearth for money, or any state government. There is no problem of money, but there is only problem of time and executing a large country with 6,48,000 villages in India, with around 570 MP seats. That there is a lot of, even a country like Britain which was ruling us, those fellows have lost their GDP. There is no much income. But India is the place which is a happening place. Today everybody are technology oriented, technology savvy, they are demanding technologies. So but we do not have that many extension professionals, although Jagan and all the team, they are training all the people, but we still require more. We have to bring the multiplier effect in extension. How do we bring the multiplier effect in extension? One Jagan Mohan and one VK Dharav cannot run the entire extension system. We require para extension professionals. We require outsourcing. We have to bring multiplier effect. We have to bring the contact farmers. We have to bring the Gopal Mitras. So all these people are going to work. Don't think they work only for your money and honorarium. But we have to actually muster the people. We have to bring them together. That's why in extension we say 3 words in Hindi. मैं हमेशा बोलता हूँ, अगर हिंदी में भी आप लोग थोड़ा कंफर्टेबल है तो हिंदी में भी मैं बोलने के लिए तैयार हूँ. ज्ञान, विज्ञान और अभियान से. So the world is moving by three things. One is the Gyan. Okay, Gyan is Vigyan plus experience. A science alone is not Gyan, although we call it as Krishi Vigyan Kendra. It is not Krishi Gyan Kendra, there is no Gyan. Gyan will come only when farmers will give the feedback and they tell the experience. So it is only Vigyan, only the science is there. So when science is applied in the social system, in the society, when experience is also put, the third one is Abhiyan. We have to make a campaign. We have to put it on a large scale. That's why the extension system, see, when we all joined extension, we were so happy that this is the only science where we can talk. But now I am feeling very proud that we are the people to bring this social transformation and social change. Lot of projects of manage, EEI, you see multiple pluralistic institutions are working in the field. See, what is that our country wants? We want faster transformation. We don't want evolution. Evolution may take 10,000 years. But you see just in about 10 years time, how India has transformed. We are such a big trillion economy, and we are really outbeating USA and India. We should be very, very proud. So therefore in project management, okay, all these project management techniques like PERT and CPM will be quickly telling. Look at this particular diagram. See, for example, A1, all these E are called as events. A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, these are all called as activities. So in any program evaluation review technique, how many events are there, how many activities are there? Okay, so now very quickly let us take one, making a small cinema. Let us say Jagan and me are given the task of making an agricultural film for veterinary officers. So some budget is allotted to us. So how me and Jagan will go about? First of all, Jagan sir will write the storyboard. That is one activity. After writing the storyboard, we will do audition. Which veterinary officer will come and give the audition? Because I run a information service called as Arka Samachar. Okay, there also we do. So we require, just like a cinema is taken, first of all the story has to be there. Some Vijayendra Prasad has to write the RRR cinema. Story is written. Immediately when story is written, the casting takes place. Whether you will put Junior NTR or you will put that, what is that fellow's name? Magadira hero. What on parent and that Magadira hero. That Chiranjeevi's son.
Ramcharan.
So now they will do the casting. Ramcharan and they have to put. So now story is dependent on casting or casting is dependent on story. So this we call it as the preceding activity and successive activity. So without a story, if somebody wants to take movies like in the olden days, it will flop. But today people are very good, and that too South Indian cinema like RRR, Magadira, KGF. The story is written. Story is a precedence activity for casting. Once when the story is written, there were two characters in RRR. One was that, what is his name, Baba? That the Ramcharan character. That was that Krishna had played that role a long back. In Alluri Sitaram Raju. Correct. Sitaram Raju was one character. There was another character. See now, long back, I had seen this Alluri Sitaram Raju movie. In that, Krishna had acted in those days. So why they decided that Krishna will act or Ramcharan will act? Maybe in the story that Vijayendra Prasad must have written that Alluri Sitaram Raju was looking like this, he had a dadi like that. So therefore, story is a precedence activity, whereas casting is a successive activity. Without story, you cannot do casting. The moment casting is done, there are some 5-6 simultaneous events. They are called as burst events. For example, the makeup man, okay, and then this, this dress, the dress fellow, he can start simultaneously, stitching the dresses for Alluri Sitaram Raju. Somebody can bring this makeup, they can bring all those materials. And then the shooting can also, if the actors are involved, without the actors you cannot shoot. So there may be some simultaneous events. And side by side, okay, the shooting can take place in 2 or 3 shifts in 2 or 3 different locations. It can take place in Visakhapatnam, and if it also warrants, it can take in Adilabad forest. So in 2 to 3 shifts, these are called as the burst events. And then once when all the shooting is over, Okay, the editing cannot start without shooting. Okay, once when shooting is over, that is again we say shooting is a precedence activity and it is a compulsory activity. Without shooting, you cannot do editing. Editing definitely once when editing is there, if I give you a storyboard, when me and Jagan have written a storyboard for this film, based on the storyboard, I can start editing in different batches. 3 or 4 editors can also start doing the job. It need not be that I should wait. So after interval, when the story opens with the British people, somebody else can do the editing. Before interval, when some heroine locations and these sort of songs are played, that editing can be different. And later on, both can be joined and the movie can be published, the movie can be released. Movie cannot be released without editing. And there is one more activity, getting the censor certificate. So without getting censor certificate, we cannot release. So therefore, in any PERT diagram, please understand, E1 is an event where 2 activities are simultaneously going on. One is going for 8 days, other one is going for 6 days. You see this example. So the event 2 cannot occur before event 1. So okay, and then maximum time is 8 days. Therefore, the E3 activity, there is a 2 days slack. That means there is still 2 days time. See, now I will give you an example of a short course. I'm a short course director. It's coming in December. See, when the timetable is set, now Jagan sir has set the timetable. So there is a slack. Let us say some 2-3 days holidays are there. How Jagan as a master trainer will engage you people? He may send you on small tour. He will ask you to go to Ramoji Film City. Go and see it. And he will also give some exercises and homework for you. That is how a trainer is going to engage in the slack period. We should not waste the slack. See, many times, when we set the training program, if it comes somewhere in the month of April, with that Ambedkar Jayanti, Sri Ramanavami and all that, we get 5-6 days holidays. I think Jagan also knows it. So who is going to set a timetable like that? Okay, unfortunately, you set a timetable, you have to use that time also. That is what the PERT says, how to use the slack time, and don't engage the people till you do it. See, now, suppose in a movie, okay, you have booked, let us say, Padmalaya Studios, the Krishna Studios. When will you book the studio? Only when the shooting is finalized, when the script is finalized. So, all the precedence activities and the successive activities we have to do. And what is the application of this, whether it is a veterinary vaccination program, an AI program, or it is the blue tongue disease vaccination program for veterinary officers, or any other deworming program for the animals. It has to be done on a large scale. We can do detailed project planning, we can control the project, cost has to be controlled, resource has to be controlled. See, now I'm just giving an example how Jagan or manage, how they are using. See, now you don't have all the resources with you, so we call guest lectures, we outsource people. See, everything we cannot employ people, we cannot expect only one veterinary officer to do all the vaccination program. You will have to hire people from outside, give them some honor, because your time is limited, you require more number of people. Similarly, in a shooting schedule, or suppose when a conference or a seminar takes place, our vehicles are very limited. We may have 1 or 2 vehicles in our institute. So we hire the vehicles, we outsource it, and that's how we also control the resources and the cost. So now, I will tell you how this activity can be written. Actually, we will just very quickly see here. From a single activity to simultaneous activities. First rule. These are called Fullerton rule. See, for example, let us say me and Jagan, we are traveling in a taxi, and we also have a very scientific discussion. Can't I have a discussion with Jagan during travel? I can do both activities. This is called a burst event. So simultaneously, without wasting time, whenever we go on extension field trips, we discuss very technical matters, how many farmers we will contact, how many FPOs have to be contacted. So before we go to the village, which is, let us say, about 50 kilometers, in that 1 hour travel time, we are using it and we do simultaneous activities. This is a very first lesson in a program evaluation review technique. And then afterwards, you cannot cross the events. So A is an activity, B is an activity. Suppose if the activity B cannot be done without A, like I told, without writing a story, you cannot do shooting. You cannot cast. First, the story has to be there. Therefore, whether it is RRR or Magadhira or Bahubali 1 and 2, first the story will be written by Vijayendra Prasad, and then afterwards it will be read in front of Prabhas, Tamanna, XYZ, Ramakrishna, and then once when they accept only, you can cast them. See, because they are not your employees, at least in our institute, some of them are our employees, but they put leave. So just because somebody puts leave, can I say that I will not run a training program? I have to run. I will bring people from outside. I will outsource people. Like, if all the expertise is not available in one institute, we can call guest lectures. You see, Jagan sir, I was seeing the way manage works, especially my student, Dr. Chandrasekhar. The number of activities they do is enormous. See, even they have outbid, I think they are experts in outsourcing. Even EEI is not less. See, because of outsourcing and all this online which has come in handy, we can do multitasking. This is very important when you do PERT and CPM, and everything you need not depend on only one thing. You see, in Bangalore or Hyderabad, whether people are depending only on the house and the wife to cook, may be very limited. They will have coffee outside. They are bringing tiffin outside. I will give one very important example. All of you must have gone for movies. Let us say 5 friends have to go to a movie in Mantra Mall or Asian Mall, and 5 people are located in different places. We start from Rajendra Nagar and we will hire a taxi and pick up all the 5 people. See, Jagan stays in the city, I stay in Rajendra Nagar, or somebody else stays in a different place, Himayat Nagar. Now, what is admissible when I apply PERT? Whether I will take one taxi and then pick up all the 5 fellows and go to the movie hall, or I will telephone them and say that all of you come by Ola or Uber and we will meet in Asian Mall, which is situated near Rajendra Nagar. The best idea is not to take a single driver and single vehicle. That is not management. We have to apply PERT. Simply all of them will join an Ola and they will start simultaneously traveling and they will converge in the cinema hall. This is a very important thing. In the olden days, what they used to do, when you give a vehicle intent, the same vehicle, in IIHR we had got a van. It is called dog van. So 10 scientists have given indent. From morning till evening, it will pick up all the 10 fellows. Somebody has to buy oxygen, somebody has to go to Lal Bagh, somebody has to go to Department of Extension. By the time you come in the evening, we said, never, don't give indent. Because in those days, hiring Ola and Uber was very costly. So nowadays, we have discontinued that method. That is the IIHR building on my backside. So the dog van is no longer there. There is to be one Vadivelu fellow driver. Morning indent iste Jagan garu Lal Bagh eppudu poyedi సాయంత్రం అవుతుంది పోవడానికి అప్పుడు నేను పోయి ఎగ్జిబిషన్ ఏం చేయాలా మళ్ళీ నేను ఇంటికి ఎప్పుడు రావాలా చెప్పండి సో ఎనార్మస్ అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ వేస్ట్ ఆఫ్ టైం డోంట్ డూ దట్ నవడేస్ బీ స్మార్ట్ అంటే ఏంటి simultaneously. See, although we have a car, see nowadays, Jagan garu, you must have also seen, in each house you will have 2 cars. You will go in a different car, your son will go in a different car, your wife will take a different car. See, if they depend only on Dr. Jagan to pick up, if his wife and child are saying, Appa, nu rakapothe nen ponu unte, it's an enormous waste of time. Because Jagan's time is having a lot of opportunity cost. He cannot pick up, although he may love his kith and kin. But how long he will pick up? So therefore, we have to do simultaneous activities. They are called burst events. See here. Now, I have given a small example of agriculture. Without doing field preparation, you cannot do sowing. Without doing sowing and the crop coming, you cannot do weeding. Without doing weeding, you cannot do top dressing of urea. And now I am asking, because you are all agriculture fellows, whether irrigation is done after top dressing or before top dressing. See, if you do top dressing and then irrigate, only leach అయిపోతది fertilizer. So it is the reverse. Then afterwards you have to do plant protection and roguing. Roguing means removing the unwanted plants. Even then you have to do harvesting. Therefore, activity A and B are called compulsory activities. Without doing field preparation, you cannot do sowing. But whereas you can do weeding, top dressing and irrigation simultaneously. Okay, you can hire 3 laborers on that day. And then plant protection also you can do. You can start spraying the pesticide and you can also do roguing. But harvesting cannot be done unless a bajra reaches 90 days of the crop. See, for example, in a vaccination program in 10 villages, whether same veterinary officer will go to 10 villages? No. He will go in one village and lead. 9 Gopal Mitras he will hire. Okay, vaccination is given simultaneously. He has announced at the time, morning 9 to evening 5, vaccination program, deworming program, piperazine, petali. So like that we have to plan our activities. Koddi cost ekkuva aithe kuda parvaledu. See, if the cost is a little bit more, no problem. Time should be saved. Drudgery should be saved. See, ఇప్పుడు జగన్ గారు పాత కాలంలో if some lady was about to give birth to a child, వాళ్ళని చూసుకోవడానికి పల్లెటూరు నుంచి 10 మంది వస్తారు. 10 మంది 10 months ఉంటారు. Of course, they are showing love and affection. We don't mind feeding and all that. ఇప్పుడు మా enormous time has to be given to them. లేదయ్యా పిల్లలకి అనేది ఇంకా 9 నెలలు అవుతుంది. Because 9 months time is a very fixed time. So within 9 months you have to optimize the events. When should you call that your mother or somebody? You should not call in the 3rd month or something. They will slowly come in the 7th month. Okay, more activities, for example, all this vaccinations gani, tests gani, everything will start from the 6th to 7th month, 3rd trimester lo untadi. So therefore you will have to plan how many people will come, whether you will do the delivery at home or you will do in the hospital. So you will have to take some different decisions, whether you go for cesarean or normal delivery. Okay, and then various ran vaccine tests and all those things. So one event is dependent on the other event. So you should plan. Otherwise, what will happen if you don't plan and call 10 laborers without giving them work? This is what has happened in many of the institutions. They have employed a lot of people, one mali, one driver, one cook, not required. See, now in Krishi Vigyan Kendra, Jagan knows, they have abolished the cook post. They have abolished this driver post. Or why is it required? We can hire whenever we want vehicle. You don't give vehicle also. Who will maintain that vehicle? It's enormous cost. So therefore, the Krishi Vigyan Kendra has come out with this thing. So we will quickly go. Okay, now excavation of land. Okay, building kattalante, many things are there without putting.
Hello, excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I am leaving to meet our Vice Chancellor, sir.
Okay, I will take care.
I think Dr. Shirisha will take care.
Okay, Shirisha madam చెప్పండి. Okay, thank you. Okay, go ahead. Okay, Nana, Shirisha నేను ఇక్కడ ఉన్నానమ్మా. Okay, right. So therefore, some are, see, suppose a building we have to build, without putting foundation you cannot put it, without putting the beams you cannot go. But once when the walls are there, you can simultaneously start plastering the walls. Okay, without doing roofing, you cannot go and build the next floor. So all these issues were covered. Okay, now we will very quickly go. Suppose there are A, B, C, D, 4 activities. A and B are simultaneous activities. They are called burst activities. And 1, 2, 3, 4 are called events. And then suppose without doing activity 2 and 3, 4 cannot be done. Therefore, the 2 and 3 is connected by a dummy activity. That means there is slack. We have some time. See, suppose, I will give another example. You and your wife have gone to a big mall. Okay, I am seeing a movie, my wife is doing shopping. So now the movie is a fixed time. It will be over in some 2.5 hours or 1.5 hours or whatever. The shopping is a very flexible time. Suppose if the movie is over, I have a slack. That means till my wife comes, I cannot come out of the mall. So what I will do, that free time I will use it for some other activity. That is called as slack activity. So sometimes we get this free time which is called as slack. See, now again another example. The activity, the event 2 cannot occur without event 1. So that is compulsory activity. It's called precedence activity. But whereas B and C can take place simultaneously, you can do shopping, somebody else can also see a movie, and your daughter can also start eating. some momos in the mall. So 3 activities can go simultaneously. But since you have gone in the same car, all 3 of you have to come together. So therefore the activity D cannot take place till the shopping is over or the movie is over or the eating is over. So that is how activity number 5 is dependent upon activity number 3 and 4. This is how we write the PERT diagram. So we say predecessors and successors activity. So the dummy is unavoidable. So similarly we have given another PERT diagram. These are all PERT diagrams. Okay. So you will be writing like this. So now we will apply the critical path method. See, in a critical path method, what is the earliest occurrence of time? That means how much we can delay. See, for example, a childbirth. Okay, so when you go to your doctor, they would have given some dates. Sir, when is the date of delivery? Of course, astrologers also give a date, but nowadays they are fooling the astrologers also. So people want their children to be born in a very good nakshatra. They want them to be born in a very good horoscope. So they plan that, their child should be born on Sri Ramanavami day, so that Rama himself will come. So it is all not so scientific. We can only give a range of dates. Similarly, the date that is the earliest occurring, they will say the child may be born between the next week. They will not give a single day and time. Nobody can give a single day and time. So latest maximum means you can delay the childbirth by 1 week. And then now let us calculate for how many days we can keep our laborers, and then because a lot of people are required when the child is born, somebody has to give bath to it, and then vaccination, or whether we will do all these activities in the hospital or we will do it at home. Let us see. I will just show you the next slide how we give the forward pass and backward pass. So what is the maximum project duration? I will have to calculate. So now I will just quickly show you. So many activities are there. You can apply it for your vaccination program. You can apply it for deworming program. You can apply it for a childbirth. You can apply it for building a building or sowing and so on. So look at this activity. Now, very coolly, I will take more time in explaining this particular slide. See, now event 1 has started and activity A will take 8 weeks. Okay, let us say the 3rd month or 4th month of thing, or deworming. Okay, it has taken 8 weeks. And then now, simultaneously, let us say the deworming campaign has also taken place in the village B, which has more number of animals. So it is taking 9 weeks. But the veterinary officer is same, the Gopal Mitra are same. So therefore, what the veterinary officer will do, he will go to the bigger village with Gopal Mitra and he will put some other 2 Gopal Mitras in village A. So now 8 weeks is the earliest starting time. But in case of B, what will happen is it takes 9 weeks. So these veterinary officer and Gopal Mitra cannot move out of these 2 villages till the vaccination in village B is over. So that means there is a slack of almost, okay, how much slack is there, we will calculate. Okay, we will tell you how much. There is some free time. After finishing this deworming, okay, next is they may want to do some surgery or they may want to clean the animals and things like that. So another event C will take 9 weeks. So okay, so then 9 plus 8, 17. Okay, then baad mein, okay, finally they will come back to the veterinary hospital and administer the injection or drugs. That will take another 5 weeks. 17 plus 5. Okay, the 6th activity. So maximum is 24 weeks. So in 24 weeks they have scheduled the deworming schedule. So when I am adding the time from event 1 to 2, that is called as forward pass. Now I will calculate the slack by giving a backward pass. The event G is taking 7 weeks. So 24 minus 7 is 17. That is okay. So the event D is taking 4 weeks. So 17 minus 4 is 13. So that means the earliest starting time of event D is either after the 9th week we can start, or we can start after the 13th week because there is a slack. 13 minus 9 is how much? 4 weeks of slack is there. So therefore we give a dummy activity, and obviously the latest starting time is 0 in the event 1. So in the event 1 and the last event, the earliest starting time and the latest starting time cannot change, because, and therefore we say the critical path is the longest path. Okay, so which is the longest path here? It is not, see here, A, C, F, that is one path. The other path is B, D, G is the other path. B, D and G, okay, take maximum time, 24 weeks. Therefore, we say that BDG is called as the critical path. So, the longest path in the PERT diagram, in the network diagram, is called as the critical path. Just like in a childbirth, what is the maximum critical path? 9 months. Before 9 months, it is not safe for the mother or the child. And there may be dummy activities, and you might have called a laborer in the 3rd month, you might have called some relatives in the 5th month. So you will have to spend time and money and then wait till the 9th month. So that is an additional cost and additional time for you. Therefore, we say planning and scheduling an activity, planning and scheduling an agriculture project or a veterinary project or a fisheries project is of utmost importance. For example, Kharif season. See, the rainy season, recently we were growing fortified bajra. Bajra takes 9 months, 90 days. 3 months we have to wait. Till 90 days you cannot harvest. So in between we can do touring, we can do geosensing, we can make farmers meeting, we can do many of the extension activities. But till 9th month you cannot harvest, you cannot sell it. So therefore, how many people are you going to put for this Bajra campaign? You cannot put more people for all the 90 days. You have to put more people only during sowing and harvesting and marketing. These are very 3 critical activities, and the 90 days is the critical path. So without 90 days your Bajra will not come. So without 8 weeks your vaccination or schedule of the veterinary cannot take place. So this is how we are applying this thing. I have already given you enough examples, like how 5 people will join a cinema hall by coming in 5 different Ola and Uber. Although that is looking a bit costly, it optimizes on the time. I have also given the example of childbirth and so many other things. Similarly, you can apply in your own situation. So now, how to calculate this particular diagram? These are all theory things for you to read. The earliest starting time and the latest starting time. See now, there is no delay, there is no slack in event 1. You cannot delay. 9:15 you have to go to office means you have to go at 9:15. There is no delay. Once when you reach office, let us say there is a meeting or a class scheduled. So you cannot delay a class, but whereas you can delay your research. Yes or no? Yes. See, for example, a class has to be taken between 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. That is the earliest starting time, and the latest starting time is both 10 o'clock. There is no slack. See, suppose, if your director has asked you to give a report. So you are sitting and eating coolly and chit-chatting with your colleagues. So you have some free time. That free time is called as the slack time. So therefore, people who do research and who do reporting will not be sometimes alert. They will do some passive life. They will chat, they will have coffee, okay, they will go to they will fresh up 10 times. But people who take class and people who are in the Indian Army or people who are pilots, people who are drivers, they are all highly time-bound activity. There is no slack for them. There is no relaxation for them. Many times my wife says, you see, although I have to see 9:15 or actually I have to go at 9 o'clock, my daughter has to go at 9 o'clock. So there is no relaxation time for my wife. The relaxation time is there for us because she cannot delay the carrier or making the child ready or helping us to go to the office. So there is no slack time. So once when the time-bound events have occurred, Later on, the non-time bound events, making a telephone call, okay, relaxing, seeing a TV, reading a newspaper, all those things can be done once when these time bound activities are done. This is a very important issue in the program evaluation review technique. You should be able to understand when is the relaxation time, when is the earliest starting time, when is the latest starting time, whether there is any slack or can we delay a particular activity. See, I will give an example even in small cooking. See, let us say the lady of the house has put the pressure cooker. It will take about, let us say, 10 minutes for it to cook. The whistle is going to be blown only after 10 minutes. So within that 10 minutes, you can do simultaneously some other activity. Maybe attend a phone call, okay, or maybe do some yoga exercise. So like that, there is some freedom. They are called the burst events. But the merge event is the moment, people have started the doorbell, and when people enter, immediately there is no slack. You have to attend. See, like a driver, a teacher, a mother, a housewife, they are all time-bound activities. Therefore, gentlemen, you are 27 people from the various departments. Don't mistake me, most of them do not like these time-bound activities. That too, nowadays, they made 5-day week in ICR. 9 o'clock you have to go, 5:30 you have to come out. My goodness, people are, today people are all, addicted to WhatsApp, university, and then they have to do telephone calls, they want to socialize, they want to relax. Unfortunately, in some of the organizations, you cannot do it. Maybe in research organizations, people are doing it. Even then they do it. It is wrong. You should not do a WhatsApp call. You should not go on being in a telephone in the office. You go and work in a police station. You are put on sentry duty. Whether the fellow with the gun in the sentry duty will attend a WhatsApp call, he will attend a phone, they will kick him out there itself. You go to the Indian Army. You are there with the AK-47 gun, and you are sitting at the our Kargil border. You cannot attend a phone call there and say, yes, I am coming, I will pay the electricity bill, we will go to Vaishno Devi temple. See, all those socializing dialogues, you should do it only off duty, you cannot do it on duty. Therefore, people, when they join software companies, they are struggling to take the breath because it is such a pressure cooker sort of an ecosystem, very, very difficult. You cannot relax like that. See, some people, they have got the bad habit. They don't eat breakfast in the house. Okay, and they take the breakfast and lunch and they go to the office, open the box, which is a very, very bad situation. So here the power has gone. If it does not come, my network may go. Let me see. So did you understand, gentlemen? I have shown you a small PERT diagram and a small critical path method. The application is enormous. You can apply it in life. You can apply it in the office. But the main idea is here to control the cost and control the time. See, today why the government officers are people with 60 years or 62 years of job is failing? Because you have already employed them. You cannot throw them out, and you cannot ask them to work more during some veterinary campaign, deworming of animals. That fellow will say, sir, I am a government servant, I will apply leave, I am having earned leave, I am having casual leave, my stomach is paining. All these things you can tell in the government jobs and pensionable jobs. You cannot tell it in software company. If you don't attend 4 or 5 days, if you don't show the output, they will kick you out of the office. You will lose your livelihood. Be very careful. So very quickly I am going. All these things are for you to read. We can also apply the Gantt chart. I will show you how to apply the Gantt chart. Activity A and B. Okay, activity C cannot start without A and B. But the A activity, there is some slight gap is there of 1 week. So you can start the activity A. A and B are actually burst event. They have started simultaneously. But activity A is finishing 1 week early. So therefore the workers who are put on activity A can relax for 1 week. Relax means they cannot go to Kashmir and enjoy, but they have to be there only and wait. But they should not do other activities. So activity C will start only after activity A and B. So C will go on up to 17 weeks. But the activity D can start 1 week delayed. But without doing activity C, D and E, you cannot start activity F. So therefore, there is a slack in the activity D, 1 week. Third, I can relax. See, it is like, when you go to a workshop or a conference, suddenly 2-3 days holiday has come and some idiot has, fixed this conference during Sri Ramanavami, Ambedkar Jayanti, that too before April 14th, Ugadi. My goodness, especially in the month of April, it's my sincere experience that 3-4 days public holidays will come. And I have seen people even fixing training programs during holidays. Whether they have done it purposefully or they want to cheat the government, I don't know. But how can somebody start a training program on a second Saturday? See, in Naram we were cracking this joke. See, somebody started a training program, okay, on Friday evening. Next day, second Saturday was holiday. And then Sunday was a holiday. Then Monday was Sri Ramanavami. And then Tuesday was Ambedkar Jayanti. And then Wednesday was valedictory program. So he told he conducted a 5-day workshop. Bullshit. All the other things are holidays. So this is how we control the project cost. And in those days, my director, Dr. K.V. Raman was there. He started banging the scientists. Bloody fellows, can't you understand that you have brought 50 people for the short course? 4 days are holidays. 1 day they went to Ramoji Film City. Second day they went to this, tank bund and they went on the boat. Ramanavami, they enjoyed Ramanavami and they did the festival. And Ambedkar Jayanti, they relaxed. And on Wednesday, there was valedictory program. So that is a very, very lousy way of doing a project or a training program. Enormous amount of time and energy is wasted. So even, today in wherever you go, accommodation is a very limited activity. That's why we did online program. And then, feeding 5 people, especially offline program versus online program, the project control and the project cost is enormous in an offline program. See, 10 days of winter school I will conduct between December 5th and 14th. I am providing accommodation, I am providing food, I am providing TADA. I have seen that no holidays are there in between. I never fixed it between Christmas and all those things. So I am going to extract blood out of these fellows. I have already given you my short course brochure. Kindly go through it. And whenever you plan an animal husbandry campaign, deworming, my animal husbandry people, please note, especially in Telangana, Bonalu festival has come, okay, and then some Vijayadashmi has come, okay, Mar Navami has come, Ayuda Puja has come. This fellow has fixed the veterinary campaign during those days. Which farmer will come? Okay, enormous amount of your time, your money, your vehicle, everything is lost. So therefore, when you plan an activity in a village or an agriculture program or a veterinary program or a fishery program, okay, you should plan it in such a way that you don't spend your money and cost. Okay, if somebody plans all the fishery activity during heavy rainy season, and in the rainy season it is the breeding time for fishes, especially in Arabian Sea we get kane fish, rohu, katla, mrigal, everything may have a breeding season, a breeding depth in the pond or a lake. You should understand all these things, when to schedule your particular activity. Be very, very careful. I am very, very critical. Although I am an experienced trainer, I cannot tolerate people who waste enormous amount of time. My goodness, this 5-day week has added. Suddenly Friday is, Thursday is a public holiday. Friday 1 day CL you put. Saturday, Sunday you enjoy. Don't go to the office at all. Simply enjoy the very high salary and just go away. So I don't know what sort of scheduling has to be done. Software companies have put work from home. Okay, and nowadays another issue has come in software companies, moonlighting. That means the fellow he started, because it was all work from home, he started working in 2 to 3 different companies and getting 3 times the salary because he is having a lot of slack time. Today Infosys has sacked many of the fellows because they were working in multiple organizations during the corona period. So they also apply the Gantt chart, the PERT diagram, the critical path method, and they have a wonderful database. You know how they caught all these moonlighting fellows? There was a fellow who was working for TCS and both Infosys. So finally what happened, one day they removed our national database, the PAN card database. It was found that the same PAN card, okay, they are putting the GPF amount in in the same PAN card twice from two different companies. Then they said, how can it be possible? PAN card is only one. How can one fellow get two EPF, Employees Provident Fund contribution? Then when they found out that fellow was doing work from home, he was working both for TCS and he was also working for Infosys, which is a very, very wrong method. Working for multiple organizations, okay, and drawing two salaries is not only a crime, it is highly unethical. That is called moonlighting. Thank you very much. So now, slacks, floats and other application, all these things are theory, we have already explained enough. Okay, you should know that where are the float and where is the slack, how much free time is there. Okay, for example, when you attend a marriage, see, lot of slack is there. See, you have gone to a marriage, earlier days there were 3 days marriage, so without the marriage over, you cannot do reception. So reception activity was dependent on the marriage activity, but that was adding enormous cost to the person who conducts the marriage. So therefore today, there are smart people. Even the muhurtam may be somewhere in the midnight. Everybody will not be awake in the midnight, especially in Andhra and all that. The muhurtams are put in the midnight. So what they do, first day without wasting time, on the day one they will do reception, okay, and then they will attend the dhare. That means that Mangal Sutra tie karne ka function they will attend and they will give gift and go. Nowadays even online gifts have come. Kindly don't do any personal visits and waste your time. Add the chowdhury cost, because one more meal of 1,000 people will cost him enormously. Okay, your gifts are of less value because all your gifts put together will not come to the meal cost. I am very sorry to make it critical. Kindly be very, very conversant with these issues. So all these floats have told. So who found out the critical path? These are all theoretical things. My session is almost over. Okay. Sirisha madam, kodi vinpartunda, everything is fine?
Yeah, fine, sir. I'm here, sir.
Okay, Sirisha garu, ippudu వీళ్ళకి we gave an example, ఒక పెళ్లిది ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇచ్చాము. ఏం మేడం? అలాగా కొద్ది మీరు వీడియో ఆన్ చేస్తే మనం ఇద్దరు ఇంటరాక్ట్ అవ్వచ్చుగా. శిరీష గారు లేదు, కొద్ది మీరు వీడియో శిరీష వచ్చింది. ఓకే, శిరీష గారు, we applied this PERT and critical path method in a పెళ్లి. ఇప్పుడు పాత కాలంలో 3 days పెళ్లి, 5 days పెళ్లి. ఓ మై గాడ్, 5 days చౌట్రీ ఊడిపోతాడు. అది ఎవరు పెళ్లి చేస్తే కాస్ట్ ఈజ్ ఇంక్రీజ్డ్. సో ఈ రోజుల్లో ఏం చేస్తారు, ముహూర్తం ఈజ్ లెటర్ సే అట్ midnight 2 o'clock, ఏదో ఒక బ్రహ్మ ముహూర్తంలో ఎస్పుడ్డి ముహూర్తం. సో పీపుల్ ఆర్ నాట్ అవేక్, వాళ్ళు అసలు పెళ్లినే చూడరు. సో వచ్చిన వెంటనే 6 o'clock ఒక రిసెప్షన్, అందరికీ ఒక బడా ఖానా, ఒక దివానే ఖాస్ దివానే ఆమ్ అని పెట్టేసి ఒక దౌలత్ ఇస్తారు, దావత్. సో దావత్ అయిపోతుంది. సో ఆఫ్టర్వర్డ్స్ పీపుల్ కెన్ ఐదర్ స్టే, బికాస్ 2:30 midnight ముహూర్తం అంటే మేడం, ఇప్పుడు ఓలా ఊబర్ కూడా డబుల్ ఛార్జ్ చేస్తాడు, అవునా కదా? చెప్పండి, అనండి. సో దేర్ ఫోర్ ఇప్పుడు ఏమంటారు, బికాస్ వెన్ ఐ అప్లై దిస్ PERT అండ్ క్రిటికల్ పాత్ మెథడ్, ఇప్పుడు అందరూ పెళ్లి చూడాలంటే నేను ముహూర్తం మార్చాలి. అసలే ముహూర్తాస్ లేవు దంపతులకి. ముహూర్తం ఇస్ ఓన్లీ అట్ midnight. Okay, yeah. So therefore, what I am saying is, okay, some activities should be preponed, postponed to reduce the cost. Very important. I gave enough examples of a veterinary program. I gave an example of a fishery program. I have given an example of an Agri program. I gave an example of how to produce a movie. I gave an example how you should all converge and meet in a particular movie or a hotel. So now this PERTCPM, all these are theory part. So whenever we do a critical path, suppose Sirisha and me, let us say we are coordinators of a training program. We should see today may be a holiday for EEI. Doesn't matter, but they are very smart and intelligent. See, today also they have scheduled the lectures. Maybe tomorrow they have put some field visit. Because even today and tomorrow are actually paid holidays. They are paying the trainees. Is it correct, madam? Sirisha Garu? See, even today and tomorrow these people are given boarding, lodging, they are paid their DAs or whatever. So we cannot waste Saturday and Sunday and say that Saturday is a holiday, Sunday is a holiday. We will not have sessions. You should have sessions, and there are some people who will take, whether a guest lecturer or your inside faculty, they will take it so that the training cost cannot increase. That is the whole purpose how Sirisha ji has applied the critical path method, and both Jagan and Sirisha must have planned this one. See, tomorrow they may either send you to Ramoji Film City or they may send you to some field visit for you people to go. That is how we apply the project networks and critical path. I have told you already, this is discussed earlier, start time, earlier finish time. So everywhere there may not be slack. I have already given you this one. So some of the advantages are disciplined planning. People cannot waste their time. People cannot loiter in the corridors. See, many times Sirisha also knows, many of our laborers, they may be sweepers or they may be garden fellows. They are simply sitting in the garden and smoking bidis. Because they are all time-bound activity. Whereas scientists and trainers and teachers, we are task-bound. Till the class is over, I cannot go. But whereas the laborer, he comes in the morning 8, he goes away at 4 o'clock. So some time-bound activity. So in Naram, we used to see lot of laborers, they are simply sitting and chatting. Because if they do the biometric in the morning at 8 and the evening at 8, they get their salary. But for you and me, whether we put biometric in the morning or evening, it does not matter. Till the session is over or till the training program is over, Sirisha ji cannot do any other activity, because these 3 days she has to plan, organize and all those things. So realistic objectives are there in PERT and CPM. Okay, unambiguous communication. So our communication is pakka. Our schedule will start at 9:15. We will end at 11. Allows management by exception of critical tasks. Some tasks are highly critical. You cannot miss a class. Okay, you cannot miss the train. You cannot miss a flight. Say suppose 10 people have booked a flight ticket. Can you miss the flight time? It happened to me once. I did not see the time properly. I missed it. It is such a critical activity to see the time and start correctly from home. So that means the issue of what I am saying about PERT and CPM, the advantages are that you cannot falter. You should not falter. See, suppose you are building a building and you are getting your daughter married. In Telugu there is a saying, Illu katti chudu, pelli chesi chudu. That means these two have been given the examples because they are all critical paths. In a marriage, if you falter, your cost will go up. If you do bad planning in a marriage, your cost will shoot up. You have put a budget of 10 lakhs for a marriage, 15 lakhs. If you extend by 1 day, it will become 20 lakhs. So therefore, at the time of, both the bride and the groom, the gifts to be given, it should be put in black and white. Very, very critically, it has to be examined. Preferably, after the bride and the groom have seen each other, the planning is done like that. What cost is there? Who is going to bear the meal cost? Who will bear the chowdhury cost? Or whether every amount is going to be given to boys side or girl side? And whether they will conduct the marriage? How many guests are going to come? The caterer will ask, Madam, are you going to apply for 1,000 meals or 1,500 meals? Based on the number of people, you have to do forecasting, you have to do planning, you have to apply CPM, you have to apply all these things. See, many times the caterer memorandum of understanding is, once when you give an order for 1,000 meal, suppose 800 people only come to your marriage, only 800 meals are served, 200 meals are not served. He is not going to reduce the cost because he has already planned for meals. So today, what the caterers are doing are, see, suppose on a single day, let us say 10 marriages are there in Hyderabad. Sirisha ji, just listen, I want your interaction because you must have seen. So they don't do cooking only in one chowdhury. So for example, Likita Caterers, who is at Rajendra Nagar, that bakery fellow, so he would have taken contract for 10 marriages on a single day. So for all the 10 marriages, the food and all the other items, it will move from Rajendra Nagar to all the 10 marriages, and nowhere the shortage will be there. So therefore, but he makes profit because already they have ordered 1,000 meals. But this fellow is a very highly management specialist. He has got a maid to order. So he makes profit in that 200 meals which is left out. So that is how we should be doing all the activity, and how to write the diagram we have already shown you here. Okay, same thing, preceding task, succeeding task. Okay, all those things are there, crashing the activities. Okay, many times time and cost. Please see here. Okay, if you increase the time, what will happen? The total cost will increase. Okay.
Sir.
Yes. Yeah. The time is up. Okay,
yeah,
sir.
Yes, sir. Other speaker is waiting, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much. And I'll quickly conclude. The PERT and CPM is a method to control your cost, resources, and time, and it can be applied in agriculture projects and veterinary projects. Thanks to EEI for giving me this opportunity, especially to Dr. Jagan and Shirisha. Thank you very much. Any questions, one or two quickly we take, otherwise I wind up the session. Please, you can ask questions. Any questions, please?
Any questions from the participants? No, sir. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, friends. Thank you, Shirisha ji. I stop sharing my screen, and then we leave the meeting. So best wishes for your program. Have a happy training. So many of you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.